Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime girl. Welcome back. Welcome into Snake Tree Lounge. My name is Cree. I paused for a second because my brain said Somimbo Wellness, which is my healing practice. To which this is an extension. So that might be something for somebody as well, maybe branching out. Um, I don't know really what the message is about today, but we will find out together. But what I was hearing before I turned the camera on, well, before I even turned the camera on, before I even knew that I was doing a reading today, um, I was hearing "Show Me" by Jill Scott, and it's like, your word is love, but you push me away and won't say why. You show me your exterior, I need to see your interior. I need to be absolutely clear with you. If we are to ever stand a chance, it's the last dance, don't you see? Show me the warrior you're gonna be. So think, and I sat with that for a second and was like, what is spirit trying to say by giving me that little snippet? Which I'm remembering like a short that I did that was just that as well. And that was it was a long time ago. I'm surprised I'm even remembering it now. I think I was driving in my car. Um but here today, I'm not sure why I felt that channel then, but here today it feels like spirit is saying, I've given you all these talents. Like you've crossed the portal. You know that I've given you all of these talents. You are aware of all of these talents. These talents that you have make you feel good. These abilities I'm hearing that you have are making you feel good, but you're keeping them to yourself. And spirit is saying, show me, show me, show me, show me, show me. And you got to show up. Like, you got to show up. So let's see what else spirit wants to say about that. Damn, I barely even moved the deck and there was a card. So it's the Lovers in reverse. Jealousy, unfaithfulness, arguments, separation, divorce. So this Lovers in that, before that fell out, I was about to say, also in that piece of music, your word is love, but you push me away and won't say why. Like, you say, Spirit, thank you so much. You show gratitude. They're acknowledging that you show gratitude. But what they're also acknowledging is that gratitude is also action. Gratitude is also utilization. And that there's a fear. There's a fear that you're going to run into jealousy. You're going to run into people switching up on you. That's the unfaithfulness. You're going to end up in arguments and being separate from people, and maybe even getting a divorce if this is a love, because this is the Lovers in reverse, and that is a love song. You're worried about those things, and rightfully so. It's okay to be worried about those things. It's okay to acknowledge that there's a fear inside of you, there's an anxiety inside of you. Um, okay, spirit. So I'm also being brought to something that, whew, okay, I'm also being brought to something that is pretty personal, and as a child, as a young child, I knew, and I feel like I'm just saying this, it is Pride Month as well. But I feel like I am saying this just to help someone who's going to hear it. Not that you were going to be in the same situation as me, but whatever this is for you. Um, I was a very young child when I knew that I had non-platonic feelings for girls, other girls. Like I wanted to kiss them and all of those things. Um, but I also knew in watching how those around me handled, treated, and talked about the gay and queer people around me. Like from in my family, one side was really wild with some of the things they would say, and with the other side, they didn't say much, but how they interacted was not always loving. And then in church, I watched people get called out and told that they were going to hell and blah blah blah. Um, and I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm just laughing because I know that those are some of the things that, among many others, that I internalized and allowed myself to be pushed down, and to be held down and held in place by that. And I made the best out of life, from that other place. But we're in a time where there's a lot of people talking about new earth this and new earth that and ascension and all of those types of things. And absolutely, yes, I agree with it all. I'm one of those crazies. But one of the things that we have to do, we have to do it. We have to do it is show up. That's a part of why I'm here right now. Because it kept coming back to me and sitting on my spirit that I needed to show up in this way. And we have to answer the calls. And Spirit is saying, that is the last self-love. And once I embrace that for myself and step fully into my queerness, into my, like, I was in a whole hetero facing relationship, even though it was clear from the beginning and verbalized that I was not straight. I was in a hetero facing relationship. And then I got a divorce, knowing that in that divorce, I would never be in an intimate romantic relationship with another man again. Like, I knew that in my heart. I knew that in my spirit. And I sat with that for a really long time. I went to therapy and dealt with it because I was like, what? But that was a shedding of a self that I allowed to seed and take root and all those things. And it was wonderful when it was wonderful, and it was, the ups and downs of a relationship and blah blah blah. And I don't think I would have chose a different person for that journey or to co-parent my child. However, that's not where I am. That's not where Spirit originally put me. But Spirit will give us time. Oh, now I'm thinking about this little reel that I just saw before I got on here. And there was a snail on a hose or on a pipe, and the water was just shooting out, and the snail had a shell on the pipe, and its body going out over the water, and you could see the bottom of its body just going like this, and the water's like shooting out underneath. And I wrote something like, I reposted it in my stories, and I wrote something like, this is footage of me knowing that my stability comes from me riding the wave in my own sweet pace, right? Like the snails are slow, and eventually it like start going off to the side, like, okay, I'm done with this, I'm gonna get down. But at the moment, it knew how to sit on stability, the pipe itself that wasn't gushing, and what how much of itself could go out and really enjoy it. And in one of the last phases, and that feels very like finite to say one of the last, but honestly that's what it feels like. One of the last maybe 2 or 3 phases in the depths of self-love, which I feel like the last maybe one, I'm hearing the number 13. Maybe there are 13 phases. Is to go ahead and let it go and show up for what spirit continuously puts on your plate, and know that it's when you come to it. They say I'm crazy. Okay, Auntie Jill coming through. Jill Scott. The way you got me open, baby. Mm, it's love. Like, that's love. Love you. Show up in the way that spirit is telling you to show up, right? The way it's telling you, because it's going to be what it's going to be. And even when it's at the bottom, you will know that what is crumbling, what is towering. Now I'm seeing the tower card. What is towering around you is what is towering, all of these? Yeah. What is towering around you is not you. It's all the things that are not you. And in their place will come, I'm hearing fertile ground, even if it doesn't look like it at first. So I'm hearing fertile ground, and visually I'm seeing like the lava fields in Hawaii after the volcano has erupted and the lava has come down and burned down homes and created new land and took out whole green fields. But over time, things are able, like soil, dirt flows into the lava, or holes are left where the ground is still exposed, and things grow, random things, but things grow. And if work is put in, it could be fertile ground all over again with the demolishing of what was overlaid. I hope this is making sense and following. It's making sense to me, but I hope that it's landing. I know that it is. I know that it's landing. Spirit wouldn't have given it to me. Okay, so next we have the Ace of Cups. Open your heart to a new relationship or reinvigorate an old one. Divine provisions and abundance. Divine provisions and abundance. On the reverse, this would have been emotional immaturity. I have those written on the same one, on the same side. So I'm gonna just take what it is. So yeah, this loving of yourself, this showing up as you, this allowing big change to happen, this allowing the volcano to finally erupt, this allowing the tower to finally fall, which you may have already done, and maybe you've already done a bunch of them, but I feel like the final countdown And not to feel like you must do it now. Because allowing self-love is allowing, hold on. Ukanasita punisu futa ipukotatsi manisono woko nkuna isanai kuno sunobak bakuna siti kalituko. Allowing self-love is to allow yourself in every moment to be yourself. They say I'm crazy, the way you got me open, baby. That's like these songs playing together of like, show me the warrior you're gonna be. And then you're saying back, but they say I'm crazy, the way you got me open, baby. It's like, either way, it's love. When you show up for you, who gives a fuck? Who thinks you look crazy? Those people are not a part of your tribe. Those people who think you look crazy and then shun you for what they think they see. And not because it's a detriment to you or someone else, simply because it makes them uncomfortable. Simply because they haven't met that place for themselves. Simply because they're too scared to meet that place for themselves. Simply because they're here. They say I'm crazy. Like, God creates all types of wild ass shit and we accept it when it's a part of nature and it's a part of the animal kingdom. We are mammals. We are nature beings. The way you used to love me. That's coming from the FedEx truck. That's being delivered right now in the midst of this message. I remember the way you used to love me. That's spirit. She just pulled up outside the house. And the driver is blasting that. And now he's pulling off. Now that I said, didn't even deliver anything. I don't think he went to a house. And if he did, he went down there somewhere. I didn't even see him. But the truck was here in front of my house. Spirit is saying, I remember. Your inner child is saying, I remember. And even if it was just remembering, ooh, your soul is saying, I remember. Like, because what the fuck just brought that here? I remember. As I'm doing a reading talking about love. And this could also be partnership love. But the thing is, in order for you to be in partnership and feel full, you got to love yourself. And you got to love yourself so deeply that someone else's projections don't cause you to immediately change who you are and what you think. Don't immediately cause you to question your original intention. You got to love yourself to create a well-balanced, full foundation relationship. Relationships can work for years when both people are meeting themselves at part self. It really requires that you open your heart to a new relationship or reinvigorate an old one, meaning your child self, your in the womb self, yourself before you stepped through the portal into this 3D plane to inhabit a body. I remember the way you used to love me. That was delivered by FedEx. Straight to you. While I'm here, just being the middleman. What else, Spirit? All right, so we got the King of Cups. Accept and embrace your responsibility for the care of others as your way to be empowered and lead. Compassionate leader and influential. So the King of Cups sits in front of water. And on this card, in this depiction, there are many octopi. So we have the water here. We have the octopi. We have other deep water beings, and that's bringing to mind the emotions, and the motion of the ocean. And also I'm thinking back to that snail with the water just rushing out. When you accept a call, right? When you accept the throne, when you decide to hold the chalice, when you decide to turn this upside down and hold your own hand, just this morning in my thoughts, which sometimes I don't even be remembering my thoughts, I just be observing them, and sometimes I converse with them and let them go. But I'm remembering one now, and therefore it's important. I was thinking, we often talk about the divine masculine meeting the divine feminine, the divine feminine meeting the divine masculine. And I feel a lot of people take that as the masculine presenting meeting the feminine presenting, the assigned male at birth meeting the assigned female at birth, or if it's same sex, like I said, the masculine of center meeting the feminine of center. What we really have to understand and embody, each of us have both, or we would not be in existence. So true partnership within self and externally means that think about like a yin yang sign, a yin yang symbol, whatever. You have the black side with the white dot, you have the white side with the black dot. They would not be equal if there was not a piece of the other side. I'm actually seeing a whole different depiction, which I don't even think I've ever seen before. But the traditional yin yang, but the white has a dark black border, and the black has a broad white border, still leaving the majority black and still leaving the majority white, and still having the black dot and the white dot and the white dot and the black dot. And that is partnership. That means that someone's divine masculine of center side knows their divine feminine of center side and cares for it. And their divine feminine of center side knows their divine masculine of center side and cares for it and loves it And the true partnership is when someone else can come in bringing their divine masculine of center side and their divine feminine of center side to meet their matching divine feminine and masculine sides and hold and care for each other in that deepest way, which will push. I heard forces, but I don't really like that word, but will push force almost, because growth is always happening, both sides to flourish and grow when they're being held together, when they are, just read the card. Okay. When they are accepting and embracing their responsibility for the care of the other as their own way to be empowered, lead, be compassionate, and be a compassionate leader. Influential in the ways that I just keep hearing, I remember the influential in the way that they hold themselves and care for themselves in these ways. So they're able to know, they're able to not know, they're able to sense when that needs to show up for the other person, knowing that everything, like the king, I'm hearing the king is not coming down off the throne to bake bread at the bakery unless the king is the baker. The baker's baking bread. The baker's showing up in their fullness, in showing up for what it is they need to do. And like I was saying in the beginning, creating that space where you're not pushing away the calls from divine love for self. Your word is love, but you push me away and won't say why. You show me your exterior, I need to see your interior. I need to be absolutely clear with you. If we are to ever stand a chance, it's the last dance, don't you see? Show me the warrior you're gonna be. Like, we're in a cycle right now, cosmically. I'm hearing we're changing hands, getting new management outside of us. And while you may have checked off all these external boxes, is that the internal work? Have you created internal flow pathways for your soul to show up and be like, hey, I'm thinking about this morning, I was in the car annoying my son because I kept saying, I want a pony and I'm gonna feed it bologna. My son is 7 going on 8. And I was loud too. I was loud. But he was getting annoyed, and within the same song, I was weaving in that was how I was having fun. I was having fun, and he was just annoyed that I kept saying I wanted a pony. But it's like eventually he let go of the irritation and joined me in the fun, which in doing it, I really felt like I was just being a kid, like I was being myself as a kid. Yes, I was the mom driving to the diner that ended up being closed and I needed to come back home and make pancakes here instead, which was fun. But in that moment, I was just a kid who just so happened to drive, taking my friend, my son, my little friend to breakfast and singing, making up songs. And in that way, I led him and influenced him to show up and have fun with me. All right, so we have the Page of Wands in the reverse, unpredictability and foolishness. Like I was just saying, the Page is a child, the Page is young, unpredictable, and sometimes foolish. But unpredictable and foolish is not always a bad thing. Like in that moment, I was still driving safely. In that moment, I didn't leave the house without a wallet expecting him to pay. In that moment, I was showing up unpredictable. And I think that's what was irritating him. He had never, like I make up songs all the time, but not in that voice, not in that way. And he did say, where did this singing voice even come from? I was unpredictable for him. But maintaining that fullness and making new lyrics that included him and crack jokes was unpredictable. It was foolish. And that might be what is necessary. That I'm hearing that, that is what's necessary. Show up. Life is unpredictable. We like to think we know. We like to think that we got everything lined up. But life is unpredictable. So when we're able to be flexible, that's when we can really find our throne seat. That's when we can really find our center of self, which is your throne. Your center of self is your throne, not anything else. And that's when our cup really is able to well over. And that's when spirit's able to just fly by and drop in new things. And then when it comes over, like if this is us, if we are the chalice, and we've taken the top off the chalice, and we've opened it up, and things drop in, and then there's overflow, and that overflow is what comes out into the outside world. And it might look unpredictable and foolish to someone else. Remember your why. Remember what was said on your phone call. Don't telephone like the game of telephone where you just say it and then you say it to someone else and they say it to someone else and it changes up. No, don't telephone your call with spirit. Why would you do that? Like there are some things that like I'm sitting here doing a card reading right now and it might resonate with you deeply. But also, some of it might not. I know that. It was 3321 when I looked down. So some of it might be backwards for you. And that's okay. Everybody ain't for everybody. But you know what your call is. Then we have the Three of Cups upright. Gather closest friends and celebrate appreciation for life and abundance of sharing. That's going to be the space where you can be unpredictable and foolish, and everyone around you is going to love it. They're going to crack up. They're going to hype you up. They're going to all these things. Like I'll be going to a wedding this weekend, and I normally don't dress up. I'm a comfy clothes type of person. And so is my bestie. She's going too. And she video called me when she was in the dressing room. I didn't video call her while I was in the dressing room because I knew she was working. But I video called her today when I was trying everything on again, really gathering things that I already had and adding them to what I had gotten. And we opened the call. And before I even got a chance to say anything, she looked at what I had on and she was like, yes, friend, that's it. Because you're people. You can be unpredictable. You can be foolish. Your people are going to be like, uh-huh. And they're going to have space. And they're going to see you when you're falling apart. And they're going to know whether or not they need to say anything. And sometimes they might say something that don't match up. But all you need to know is that's them showing love. If it's no harm to you. If it's not them berating you. If it's not them gaslighting you. Then they're showing love. And you get the chance to experience what love looks like for them. And know that that's all it is. You don't have to take the advice. You don't have to move in that direction. You just need to know that that is love from their perspective. In your unpredictability, in your foolishness, right? And then finally, from this, we have the Ace of Pentacles. Time to start something that will be real in the world. Divine investment. The potential to shape and manifest outcomes in the material world. Get started. Show me. Not me. Remember, I'm a channeler. God, spirit, your ancestors, your spirit team, your angels of light. They're like, you have done the work. Congratulations. Yes, we love you so much. Now go and be your weird ass self. Please, we need you. Show me the warrior you're gonna be. Don't mean you gotta get shot up. Don't mean you gotta, like, you went through your boot camp. When you did the shadow work. When you figured out who you are. When you started changing your life. When you changed your wardrobe. When you made crazy ass decisions and ended relationships and left jobs and all the other things. Spirit, though, invests in us. Pours into us. Allows the things that are supposed to be ours to show up for us to open. Where was it? To open our heart to new relationships. Keep doing that. All right. Finally, that was a great message. I'm proud of y'all. Because whoever is listening to this message, you've done a good amount of work. Is this a card? Yes, this is a card. You've done a good amount of work. And, you know, I'm hearing you're in the easy part. Stop. You better do this. You're in the easy part, boo. Just this one. Is that it? Yes. So this card, I think, is called the Omen deck, but it's just a bunch of pictures from a photographer. The other side is blank. Some of them I have written on, some of them I have drawn on, some of them are still blank because I'm still making my way downtown, walking fast, and I'm homebound. No, I'm still making my way through the deck. But we have, this one came out first, third, okay. We'll see what's on the other side. If there's nothing on the other side, I haven't put anything on the other side, and I'll just interpret the picture. But the first one is card 58. I'll show you the picture. It is this tree with a bird on top, perched. So again, given that throne energy of being perched atop of something, high above at that, with the ability to fly even higher. I'm not flipping it over because there's nothing on the other side. I'm just interpreting the picture. I'm hearing butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high. Take a look, send a book, a reading rainbow. Maybe you need to read more. Maybe you need to read them to yourself more. Yeah, because I feel like this message is for someone who's extremely intelligent. I mean, everyone has intelligence, but you've studied, you've worked, studied, I'm hearing. Now it's time to, like, really fly high. Maybe you're writing a book. Maybe you want to write a book. I can go anywhere. Things to know, ways to grow, a reading rainbow. No. Okay, Spirit. Okay, Spirit. Things to know and ways to grow, a reading rainbow. So, not necessarily a book per se. Your life is the story. And you'll have things to know and ways to grow. All you got to do is read into what, not read into it in the sense of like hyperfixation or doom scrolling life, rabbit holing life, but just showing up fully in yourself and knowing that what you hear internally is true for you. Now I'm hearing what God has for me. It is for me. I know without a doubt that He will bring me out. That comes from inside. It's not an external thing. That bringing you out is not an external thing. It's an internal thing that shows up externally once you're ready. Once you're ready to hold it properly. Sorry, there was like a little lint hair thing on my arm. I felt like something was crawling on me. Then we have card 23. This person's walking on the beach, and on the other side of the card, of course, and now I'm hearing ringing, not in my ears, but like across the back of my head. Okay, so the back of this one just is a walk on the beach. See all the birds? That's what my son calls them, birds. All the birds back there. And on the back I wrote no projection, practice, self-reflection, accountability, and acceptance of the things that aren't yours to change. A better card couldn't have showed up if I wrote it myself. No, but yeah, this is the thing. Like, things to know and ways to grow, a reading rainbow. Like, you're gonna come across all different forms of knowledge, all different forms of person. Now I'm seeing, like, in Star Wars, the Star Trek, there's scenes in both of those where they're in, like, Star Wars, Star Trek, Fifth Element. What's this other one? Total Recall. Is that it, Spirit? Yeah, but they're saying in those movies, cinema, there were all scenes where many different types of beings were coexisting in the same space. Many different looks, sizes, shapes, forms, thought processes, cultures, blah, 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 blah. And things to know, ways to grow, reading rainbow. Okay, so this Three of Cups, it says gather your closest friends, but I'm hearing that, like, those closest friends, you're gonna for some of you may be shifting closest friends, and for some of you keeping people because you've already narrowed it down, and you'll be gaining a whole new kingdom of people. And you're going to have to understand that there's things to know and ways to grow that they're going to sort of show to you. And it's now your time as the person to accept your ascension in a way that means you accept the things that aren't yours. And know that if you made it out, so will they. Send your love. Send that knowledge of divine strength. We all hold divine strength. And when we help people sometimes, when we give them advice that's unsolicited, knowing that they're not there yet, we force feed information that they're not ready to hear fully, and it sends them off course. This last one is card 15, and I wrote oldest child. So someone, this might be an oldest child energy. I'm also hearing only child energy, um, where you had to perform and you had to. So there's this cat here on this card. It's a street cat, looking kind of mangy. In between these two look like dumpsters. It's a scavenger baby. And oh, I think I thought about this earlier too. Yeah, Spirit was bringing this message in way before I sat down. Sorry, I keep kicking the tripod, but I was thinking about how we've been taught that we've been groomed and taught that replacement is the thing. Like if you have one person that is a friend, then if you're going to have another one, then you got to replace that person, or you got to talk about that person with that person, and you got to, or like if you have one child, the next child is supposed to take care of the first child is supposed to help you take care of the next child, and the next child is supposed to help you take care of the next child, while the oldest child is helping you take care of both of them because they're learning responsibility. That wasn't their responsibility. Or keep it there. Okay. Yeah, like that wasn't their responsibility. So maybe you've had to put on different faces. Um, and I'm hearing again, things to know and ways to grow. So you had to read into situations early, and you did learn some responsibilities. And now I think it's time to release some of those. Release these ideas. I'm being drawn back to this lovers in reverse of jealousy, unfaithfulness, argument, separation. Like, I remember as a part of my story earlier that I wanted to share and I didn't. Maybe I did, but I'm hearing it again. I when I was younger, and I remember thinking this because I thought it many times. When I was younger, I would think to myself, if I show this part of myself, I will be alone. I will be abandoned. I will be mistreated. I will be that plane was really close. Um and I think that's a part of, like, maybe they're called the Blue Devils. I don't know, but that's what's coming to mind, and it feels like it's a part of what I'm saying. I'm gonna get to that in a second. I really used to think that if I exposed myself, the self that I knew that I was, and the self that I knew I was being already punished for, that I would be abandoned. It took me to the age of 30. Oh, I'm 39 this year. I'll be 40 this year. It took me up until maybe 7 years ago, a year after having my son, maybe a year or two after having my son, to really start embracing other parts of myself, because I just didn't have the capacity to mask anymore. And then I hit a place where my son was having issues in his school, And it just seemed like every time I tried to settle myself, somebody else would have something that they wanted me to help them solve. And all of it really weighed on me to the point where my mask, I just had no capacity anymore. And the abandonment that I perceived young, when I stepped out and really started embracing myself, got a divorce, I was single for a while, and then I started dating, and I started dating women, and I got some weird crap back from family, and I lost friends, I lost clients. That abandonment really started showing up. It's almost like I knew that it was going to be there when that happened. And a part of me was extremely afraid of that. And there was a part of me that just didn't give a fuck anymore. And every day I wake up glad that I took the chances that I took. And that I said, you know, if that's what it's going to be, Spirit's been telling me that since I was 7, everything will come back that's supposed to be mine. Period. And I continue to believe that. But I was feeling like this. I was feeling like this. And you don't have to feel like that. When you do, when you feel like you're out there with the trash, mangy, it's time to let some shit go. Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high. Confirmation burp. Anything else, Spirit? That's a good message anyway. Already. I feel like there's one more card coming from another deck. What deck? What deck is that I'm hearing? I can go anywhere. Oh, and then on top of that, got into a really nice relationship. It was going wonderfully. And I was already, when I met that person, I let them know, and I met her, that I was in my own transformation from one style of self through some other transitions, finding my external self. I've already found my internal self. This is who I am. I'm embracing my love of women. I'm embracing that I'm a divorcee from a man, and that's gonna cause me some issues, but I didn't give a shit. Like, this is my life. This is who I am. I'm allowed to have a road, a path that doesn't look like everyone else's. This one. Ooh, that was a whole different deck than what I reached for the first time. And I knew that would be okay because we have Metamorphosis at the bottom of the deck. Come on, Spirit. I knew that my metamorphosis would be okay. I also knew that I was the one doing the work for that, even though there were external things being assisted with. I called them in specifically. What we got from this deck? So when that fell, I knew not to allow my abandonment past be a part of my present, to allow that to be what it was, and allow the separation to happen, allow myself to be set free from it, allow myself to be grateful for the cycle that it took me through and all the beauty and all the pain, joy and pain, like sunshine, here we go, and rain, like that. Okay, so the two cards we have out here is Orion and Azrael. Oop. Orion and Azrael. These are going to be the last cards for this reading. Orion is the manifestation vortex. So like I said, like I was just saying, when you allow your metamorphosis to happen and when you take credit for your metamorphosis, when you know and acknowledge who was holding your hand inside, right? Because if someone's battling you outside, they're not holding your hand inside. Knowing the difference makes all the difference. So, manifestation vortex. Focus your energy with unwavering faith to manifest the outcomes you require. And know there's going to be, know there's going to be an ebb and flow to that, like day and night. Because as you get ready to go out, the juxtaposition will show up to be like, what are you going to do about this? And what are you going to do about that? And what are you going to do about that? Not in a way always in a tussle, but like it could be spiritual warfare if you want to put that type of wording on it. But like even this is sort of day and night with the fire of the fire of sun and the dark of stars and night. You know your story. The whole thing. When we meet new people, no matter how long we've known them, nobody will know you like you. Nobody. Because nobody can feel you like you. Remember that. Focus your energy with unwavering faith to manifest the outcome you require. And then Azrael is transcendence. You wouldn't be who you are without what you have overcome. Own your story. So if you had this beautiful situation and then it started crumbling up and you were like, what? But you know who you were in the midst of it, own your story. Own all of them. That means that you lived. You just gotta live, even when your light burns low. You should never lose your hope. You've been down that road before, and now you know which way to go. They may try to take you down, but you'll be living in the clouds. Everybody has their doubts, but you can't stop now. You just gotta live. I think that's the message, man. You just gotta live. You just gotta be you. Open your heart, open your mind, open yourself to experiences. Know that your no's are no. Know that your yeses are yeses. Know that your maybes are maybes. Know that sometimes you gotta sit and observe, and that's okay. You don't always need to be the main character acting to be on the stage. All your parts are valid. All your parts are valid. You just gotta live. I love y'all. Peace and mahalo.